Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we cut through the noise to get you well informed, fast. And today, wow, we are plunging headfirst into a story that has absolutely electrified the music world. 16 years in the making, the Oasis reunion tour kicking off July 2025.
It's huge.
The sold-out shows have critics buzzing. We're hearing things like the rock reunion to end them all, some even saying the best they've been since '96. And Liam's voice apparently sounding fresh and powerful.
Which is amazing to hear, honestly. It's truly a monumental moment in music history, isn't it? This deep dive is really all about unpacking that whole tumultuous journey of Oasis, especially that magnetic, but let's be honest, incredibly volatile relationship between the brothers, Liam and Noel Gallagher.
Right.
We'll trace their, meteoric rise as Britpop icons, the eventual breakup, and this surprising path that somehow led them back to the stage together after all this time.
It's so fascinating. Our mission here is to unpack everything. We've been diving deep into fan discussions on Reddit, really detailed music analyses from YouTube channels like Mike the Snare, James Hargreaves' guitar.
Yes, some great stuff there.
Alongside industry reports, historical accounts, what we really want to get at is how this intense sibling rivalry wasn't just like a sideshow.
Wow.
It actually fueled both their genius and, well, ultimately their downfall too. And what does their whole journey mean for music history looking back and even now?
Exactly. It's about getting a comprehensive look at the band's incredible highs, those dramatic lows, and their, undeniable enduring legacy. To really appreciate this reunion, though, we have to start right at the beginning.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Before Oasis, they were actually called The Rain, formed back in Manchester, 1991. The first lineup: Paul McGuigan on bass, Paul Bonehead Arthurs on guitar, Tony McCarroll on drums, and a singer named Chris Hutton.
Right.
So what was the turning point? How did Liam get involved and change things up?
Well, Chris Hutton was eventually replaced by Liam Gallagher, and it was Liam who suggested the new name, Oasis.
Ah.
Apparently, the name came from a poster Liam saw in Noel's bedroom. It was for the Inspiral Carpets playing at the Oasis Leisure Centre in Swindon.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, the name Oasis was kind of everywhere in Manchester kebab shops, taxi firms.
Yeah.
So it just struck.
And then came Noel, Liam's older brother. He was working as a guitar tech for Inspiral Carpets at the time.
Yeah, he was. Until he got fired for, let's say, unprofessional behavior.
Uh-oh.
And Liam was reportedly pretty pleased about that.
I bet. So what happened when Noel got back to Manchester and saw his brother's band play?
His delight probably grew. So Noel comes back, sees Oasis live. Now, his first thought was supposedly that Liam can't even sing.
Harsh.
But despite that, he was clearly impressed by Liam's raw vocal power, the band's potential. So he offered to join. But, and this is crucial under very strict conditions,
Okay.
he demanded he'd be the main songwriter and have complete creative control.
Over everything. Rehearsal schedules, the lot.
Wow. That's bold.
Totally. And the band, who were mostly just doing covers, not super serious yet, they just agreed. It was a pivotal moment, really.
That level of confidence, did it immediately translate into songs?
Oh, absolutely. Noel apparently already had a boatload of songs ready, including stuff like Live Forever.
Wow.
Bonehead apparently didn't even believe Noel wrote Live Forever at first. It was just too good. Yes. So by 1992, Oasis had developed this really distinct sound. Loud, brash, but with real melody, proper songwriting. It was quite different from the sort of Manchester sound that was big then. Hacienda Scene, Stone Roses, Happy Mondays. Oasis found that a bit too mellow.
Right. They wanted something harder hitting, so they were already carving out their own space. Who are the big influences driving that sound?
Definitely UK rock bands. You hear the Smiths, the Stone Roses, the Jam in there. But the biggest influence, without a doubt, was the Beatles.
Always the Beatles.
Always. I mean, Liam's full legal name is William John Paul Gallagher. That tells you something.
It does.
And Noel, with that typical swagger, believed his songs were just as good as the Beatles. They just happened to come first.
Incredible confidence. What's amazing is how quickly they went from Manchester clubs to getting notice. May 1993, they get this opening slot in Glasgow, King Tut's Wah Wah Hut.
Yeah, for a band called Sister Lovers. And the story is, they literally funded the trip by pooling 25 fives each for a van. Slept in it, too.
That's dedication.
Proper grit. And apparently, the venue almost didn't let them play when they got there.
No way.
Yeah, but Sister Lovers apparently vouched for them, said their own set was too short, so Oasis got on. And guess who was in the crowd? Alan McGee, head of Creation Records.
Hey, Alan McGee.
The one and only. His sister Susan supposedly told them to sign them after the first song. McGee himself said he signed them after hearing the second and third. Just like that.
Incredible. So after that chaotic but amazing start, they officially signed with Creation in June '93. But the first recording sessions for the debut album didn't go so well.
No, the sessions at Montevalli Studio with producer Dave Batchelor apparently really sucked. Liam even claimed the place was haunted.
Haunted, right.
So they tried again at Sawmill Studio. Still difficult apparently because Noel kept layering on loads and loads of guitar overdubs. The budget was running low, so the mixer, Owen Morris, he steps in. And he just heavily compresses everything.
Ah, the famous wall of sound.
Exactly, making the quiet bits louder, the loud bits even louder, gives it that raw, in-your-face feel like their live shows. Made it way louder than other rock albums at the time. That became their signature.
And that loud, confident sound just exploded onto the scene in August 1994 with Definitely Maybe. Instantly, the fastest-selling debut album in UK history back then went on to sell, what, 15 million copies worldwide?
Incredible numbers. And the album's sound, it was seen as this bright, almost happy, defiant response to grunge, which was huge then.
Right, Nirvana, Pearl Jam.
Exactly. Oasis suddenly became the figureheads of Britpop, this movement celebrating British identity, catchy guitar anthems, a real counterpoint to American rock. Noel himself described the album pretty bluntly, said it was an honest snapshot of working-class lads trying to make it, about shagging birds, taking drugs, drinking, and the glory of all that.
Huh. Classic Noel.
But he also said, more profoundly perhaps, it was about dreaming of being a pop star in a band.
You know, what's really interesting about Definitely Maybe is how some people see it almost like a story Noel was telling, like a 3-act play about his youth.
Absolutely, yeah. You can definitely read it that way.
Yeah.
It's quite clever how the themes progress through the track list. Like Act 1, tracks 1 to 4, Rock and Roll Star, Shaker Maker, Live Forever, Up in the Sky. That's all about the dream, right?
Yeah.
Young guy in Manchester wanting to escape poverty, be like his heroes. The B-side, Take Me Away, fits right in there too.
Okay, so dreaming big, what's Act 2?
Act 2, maybe tracks 5 to 8, Columbia, Supersonic, Bring It On Down. That feels more like things are starting to happen. Glimpses of glory, signing the record deal, battling the industry gatekeepers. And this act even seems to touch on that Amsterdam incident in February '94.
Yeah, yes, where they got deported.
That's the one. Liam, Bonehead, Giggsy McCarroll booted off a ferry for shoplifting and trying to use dodgy notes. Gigs canceled, real rock and roll chaos.
And Act 3 gets more personal.
Exactly. The last few tracks, Diggsy's Dinner, Slide Away, Married with Children, they pivot towards Noel's relationship with his girlfriend at the time, Louise Jones. Slide Away is apparently about those intense feelings. Married with Children, though, that reflects the breakdown. The lyrics supposedly came directly from Louise telling Noel, "Your music's shite, it keeps me up all night."
Ouch. Brutal.
Yeah, and then the B-side, Whatever, could almost be seen as Noel's response to her, like asserting his freedom. It's remarkably layered for a debut.
But this period also saw the infamous Gallagher feud really ignite in public. I'm thinking of that gig at the Whiskey A Go Go in L.A.
Oh, definitely. September 29th, 1994. First world tour. Apparently the band were high on crystal meth. Liam throws a tambourine at Noel.
On stage.
On stage, Noel quits right there, flies off to San Francisco. That's where he supposedly wrote the B-side Talk Tonight.
Right.
Management talked him around, got him back. But yeah, that was the first really major public fight as Oasis. Though, as fans know, the tension was there long before the band. Liam once claimed it all started because he peed on Noel's new stereo when they were kids.
Who knows if that's true, but it's a great story.
It is. And there was other trouble, too. Noel got assaulted on stage in Newcastle that same year, 1994. Punched in the face, broke his nose, show ended right there. It was just brotherly bickering.
And the lineup wasn't stable either. Tony McCarroll, the original drummer, he left in '95.
Yeah, difficulties with Noel mainly. Alan White came in to replace him.
But McCarroll's last contribution was pretty major, right? Some might say.
Absolutely. That was Oasis's first UK #1 single, April 1995. A huge, huge milestone for them.
And that momentum just rolled right into the next album, What's the Story? Morning Glory, in 1995, which just took them stratospheric, global domination.
Totally. Recorded super efficiently, too, like 15 days, song a day kind of thing. Noel co-produced it with Owen Morris. It was basically everything that worked on Definitely Maybe, but amped up to the nines. Colossal success. Sold over 22 million copies worldwide. It's still the 5th best-selling album ever in the UK.
But even with that success, the recording wasn't totally smooth sailing. Wasn't there a cricket bat involved?
Huh. Yes, the infamous cricket bat. Noel apparently hit Liam with it because Liam brought a load of mates back to the studio during recording.
You couldn't make it up.
You really couldn't. That bad actually got sold at auction back in 2011.
Amazing.
But yeah, despite the drama, the album is just packed with anthems. Hello, some might say Cast No Shadow, Don't Look Back in Anger, with Noel singing lead, of course, and that intro nodding to Lennon's Imagine.
And Champagne Supernova.
Champagne Supernova, she's electric, was called the most Beatlesy thing they ever did. And then there's Wonderwall.
Can't forget Wonderwall.
Became a massive international hit, top 10 in the U.S. The title, funnily enough, came from George Harrison's solo album, Wonderwall Music.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. It's wild to think. By 1996, Noel was the second highest paid pop artist in the UK. Only George Michael earned more.
Incredible rise. Which inevitably led to that whole Battle of Britpop thing with Blur.
Oh, yeah. That rivalry hit its peak on August 14th, 1995. Oasis released Roll With It on the same day Blur released Country House.
The big chart battle.
Exactly. Blur got to #1, Oasis hit #2.
Yeah.
And Noel made that infamous comment wishing Damon Albarn and Alex James would catch AIDS and die.
Yeah, that was intense. We should say we're just reporting that as a historical quote part of the story.
Absolutely. It just shows how heated things got, the pressure, the personalities back then. The whole Britpop scene was quite combative.
And then, the absolute peak for many, Nebworth, 1996. August. 2 nights, over 250,000 people total.
Just unbelievable. It wasn't just a gig. People called it the Woodstock of the 1990s, a real triumph of the British working class.
Yeah.
It felt like it represented a whole generation finding its voice in that post-Thatcher era.
Yeah.
You know, dealing with precarious work culture.
Liam knew it too, famously shouted, "This is history right here, right now," at the start of the first night.
And he was right. It cemented their imprint on British society. Only Robbie Williams has played to more people there, doing 3 nights in 2003.
You'd think reaching that absolute summit, maybe things might calm down between the brothers, just for a bit.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But no, the fighting carried on.
The MTV Unplugged incident.
Exactly. Same month as Nebworth, August 96. They're booked for MTV Unplugged in London. Liam claims he has a sore throat, can't sing.
So Noel sings everything.
Noel and the band play without him, yeah. But the real kicker, Liam sits up in the balcony drinking and smoking and heckles Noel throughout his own band set.
Wow, just...
It perfectly sums up how their personal issues were just completely tangled up with everything the band did, even at their absolute peak.
So, moving into the late 90s, things start to shift. Album number 3, Be Here Now. They started recording pretty quickly, January 97. Some felt that was a mistake.
Yeah, looking back, maybe rushing into it wasn't the best idea. Owen Morris, the mixer, again, described the sessions bluntly. Massive amounts of drugs, big fights, bad vibes.
Doesn't sound ideal.
Not really, but the hype was immense. The album was released globally on a Thursday, which was unusual then. Journalists had to sign NDAs. And initially, it flew off the shelves. Fastest-selling album in UK history at the time, 350,000 copies on day 1, doubled that in 6 days, only beaten later by Adele's 25. It even hit #2 in the US.
Huge initial sales, but the critical reaction, that turned pretty quickly, didn't it? Even Noel himself ended up slagging it off.
Oh yeah, those first glowing reviews. Some press later admitted they were basically an overcorrection because of the hype. Soon, the consensus shifted. The album was seen as Oasis pushed to its absolute extreme. Just excessively loud, songs dragging on forever like All Around the World, is over 9 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a long one.
It felt bloated, kind of exhausting to listen to. Someone famously compared it to a drug trafficking operation disguised as an album.
Ouch.
And more than just the music, Be Here Now is often seen as the moment Britpop kind of died. The optimism of the mid-90s was fading in the UK, and this album's excess and bombast felt out of step. It sort of collapsed under its own weight.
So if Be Here Now was the sound of excess, the next release, The Master Plan in 1998, was almost the opposite, wasn't it? A collection of B-sides.
It really was. And it kind of highlighted Noel's incredible songwriting depth almost by accident. It was full of tracks that many fans and even Noel himself thought were easily album-worthy. Noel's often said The Master Plan should have been their 3rd album instead of Be Here Now. It really showcased his talent. Acquiesce is on there, which is notable because it's one of only 3 Oasis songs ever where both Liam and Noel share lead vocals.
Right. You really hear that unique blend when they sing together.
Exactly. That strange magic they had, despite all the fighting.
Moving into the 2000s, there were more changes. Lineup shifts continued. Bonehead and Giggsy left in 99.
Yeah, both cited wanting to spend more time with family. Jim Archer came in on guitar. Andy Bell moved from guitar to bass.
And the drummers kept changing, too.
They did. Alan White was replaced by Zach Starkey, Ringo Starr's son, funnily enough, in 2004. Then Chris Sherrick took over from Starkey in 2008.
How did all these changes and the albums from that era affect things? Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, Heathen Chemistry.
Well, albums like those, plus Don't Believe the Truth in 2005 and Dig Out Your Soul in 2008 definitely saw a shift. Songwriting became a bit more democratic.
Other members started contributing songs?
Yeah, Jem, Andy, even Liam started writing more. Noel wasn't the sole songwriter anymore, but the tours in the 2000s were still pretty chaotic. Liam had throat problems. Noel was in a car crash at one point. Liam got arrested after a bar brawl in Munich.
Always something.
Always something. And both brothers were reportedly dealing with addiction issues and marital problems during this time, too. That underlying tension never really went away.
Which brings us, sadly but perhaps inevitably, to the final split. August 28th, 2009, Paris. Rock on Sand Festival.
Yep. Just minutes before they were due on stage as headliners.
Yeah.
Another massive fight between Liam and Noel backstage.
And that was the final straw.
That was it. Noel walked out. Later that same day, he posted on the band's website announcing he was leaving Oasis for good. Said he simply could not go on working with Liam a day longer.
End of an era.
Truly. It's interesting, though. Liam later kind of admitted shared responsibility. He said something like, "Me and my brother were to blame for the split. Not me, not him." Acknowledging it wasn't just one person's fault.
A bit of perspective later on. So after the split, they both went their separate ways musically. Liam formed BDI.
Yeah, with the remaining Oasis members, Jem Archer, Andy Bell, Chris Sherrick. They put out 2 albums, Different Gears, Still Speeding, and BE. They disbanded in 2014.
And Noel went solo too.
He did. Formed Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. Released 4 albums so far. The self-titled debut, Chasing Yesterday, Who Built the Moon, and Council Skies. And the name itself, High Flying Birds, was apparently inspired by Jefferson Airplane and Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, another band known for its share of drama.
A knowing choice, perhaps. How would you compare their solo careers?
It's interesting. Liam's solo stuff is often described as maybe leaner, edgier, definitely more commercially successful lately, and he has a huge social media presence. Noel's output is maybe seen as more lavish, experimental, often more critically praised, but, despite their individual successes, a lot of people felt something was missing. That gravitational pull of Oasis, that magic, really came from both brothers together. Separately, they were good, fine. But together, that's where the real spark was.
What exactly was it about them together? Was it just the tension, the different styles?
I think it was a real alchemy. Liam had that raw, primal rock swagger, the sneer, the voice that gave Noel's anthems that visceral punch.
Yeah.
And Noel was the craftsman, the songwriter, weaving these incredible pop melodies into stadium rock. The contrast, the push-pull between them, their personalities, it just fueled the whole thing. It created this energy that neither could quite capture alone.
Wait.
Which, finally, brings us right back to the reunion, the unexpected reunion.
Indeed. August 2024, the announcement drops. Oasis are back. Worldwide tour starting July 2025. Tickets gone. Instantly.
Just like that. The band put out a statement. The guns have fallen silent. The stars have aligned. The great wait is over. Poetic.
Very. So, after all that history, all the bad blood, why now? What changed?
Well, let's be real. Sources strongly suggest that a biggest pile of money you could think of definitely played a part.
Can't ignore that.
Can't ignore the money. But it's probably more complex.
Yeah.
Liam's 52 now, Noel's 58, maybe just getting older, carrying that grudge for, 16 years? It takes its toll, as someone put it. There's speculation they just genuinely wanted to bury the cricket bat, metaphorically speaking.
Right. Time heals, maybe?
Maybe. There were even some funny fan theories linking it to Manchester City winning the Champions League. Fans apparently urged Liam to call Noel after the match. Who knows? Perhaps a sense of perspective, coming full circle.
Makes sense. So who's in the band for this tour besides Liam and Noel?
We've got Liam and Noel, obviously. Paul Bonehead Arthurs is back on rhythm guitar and piano, which is huge for the original fans.
Definitely.
Jim Archer is there on rhythm and lead guitar. Andy Bell's on bass. And the new touring drummer is Joey Waronker, who is, get this, Zach Starkey's replacement and Ringo Starr's other son.
No way. Keeping it in the family, sort of.
Sort of. Noel actually gave a big shout out to Bonehead, saying if it wasn't for him, none of this would have happened, acknowledging his importance from the start.
That's nice to hear. And the first reviews from the comeback gig in Cardiff, July 4th, 5 stars pretty much everywhere.
Across the board, yeah.
Yeah.
Critics talked about the heartwarming closure, just seeing the brothers on stage together, even on the big screen side by side. Liam's voice got huge praise, fresh and powerful, best he's sounded in 20-odd years.
That's fantastic.
Noel was described as looking quite studious, focused, but the overall dynamic was called ridiculous and fantastic.
Sounds about right for Oasis.
Pretty much. The atmosphere was apparently insane, like a World Cup game. The whole city was mad for it. And the setlist really delivered for the fans heavy on the first two albums. Loads of those strong B-sides like Acquiesce, The Master Plan.
Choosing the people what they want.
Exactly. And apparently, the Gallaghers themselves didn't speak much to each other on stage.
Yeah.
But there was a reported quick hug at the end, which, for those two, means the world to the fans watching.
It does. Liam even said they weren't doing joint interviews because they were scared of the media trying to pick holes in our relationship, which tells you it's still maybe a bit fragile.
Very possibly.
Yeah.
Handled with care.
So wrapping this all up, what does this reunion, this whole story mean? Oasis was always more than just music, right? They were a cultural force, gave a voice to a generation.
Absolutely. Their story is just incredible, raw talent, massive ambition, and that unbelievably complex, often destructive sibling relationship that somehow, against all odds, produced incredible art.
And the songs endure. Even after being away for so long, you hear them everywhere. They still resonate, still inspire people. Their impact on rock is undeniable.
Totally undeniable. Their legacy is cemented, reunion or not. But the reunion adds another fascinating chapter.
So, the final thought for you listening. The reunion is happening, the shows are sold out, the reviews are glowing. But knowing Liam and Noel's history, this volatility, can this rock reunion to end them all actually last? Can it mend those old wounds?
Or is it just a temporary truce, fueled by nostalgia, maybe that biggest pile of money?
And what does it all signify, really, for the future of rock music, for how creative partnerships, especially family ones, work or don't work? Something to definitely ponder. Until next time on The Deep Dive.